Greetings, everybody. Welcome to Fall 2025. My name is Jackie Pierce, Miss Pierce. I'm going to be your instructor for ENC 2210. I will tell you, I have been teaching this particular course for like 1,000 years, or give or take. And it is one of my favorites to teach, mostly because it gives you guys the opportunity to delve into something that you find particularly interesting, whether it's something you want to do for your career, whether it's something you want to study for in further college studies, or whether it's just something you want to learn about. So we're going to be doing a lot of writing, obviously. It is a writing heavy class. But like I said, it's one of my favorites to teach because it gives me a chance to learn fun things from you guys as well. So, what are we doing here? Well, it's Monday morning, or at least it's probably Monday morning when you're seeing this. Every week, I will be posting a video very much like this. I call them weekly walkthrough videos, and that's exactly what we do. We go through what's happening during the week, what the assignments are, what you need to do to get ready for the graded assignments, and all of that fun stuff. So, with this being the very first week, of course, we're also just going to take a look at kind of how to navigate the course. It is fairly clearly set up using Canvas and using the course modules. So let's take a look and see what we have going on. All right, let me open the course. Now, I've got the course open right now without having the student view on. So you're going to see a lot of different links that you will not normally see. This is what, by the way, this is what it looks like when it is in student view. You'll notice on the left, there's a lot fewer things that you have to worry about, which is always good. Um, but I wanted to leave the student view off for the moment because without that, I am not able to open the concourse syllabus link. So as you know, I mean, you're in a 2000 level class, so I know you know the drill by now. Each time you start a new course, it is very important to look carefully at the course syllabus. And at Lake Sumter, we use a tool called Concourse Syllabus. So I can't open it when I'm in the student view, so I wanted to open it really quickly here, and then we're going to turn on the student view so it looks more like you will normally see things. But make sure that early this week you go through the syllabus in detail. Make sure you read all the policies and learn all the stuff, and also the withdrawal deadline. Now, I've noticed that this is missing your um, your course outline. So let me add that really quickly for you guys so that you have it. It's going to end up being in a couple of different places. But of course the syllabus is where it always should live. I don't know why it's not on there. But anyway, I can add it. Not a big deal. So we're going to add this and save it. Okay, so at the bottom, of course, you have the class calendar. That calendar is also available on the home page. So you will notice when you scroll down on the home page, that same calendar is already provided here for you. So one of the things that I really invite you to do in this particular course is get organized early and stay organized throughout the semester so that it is possible to stay on top of things. And I will do everything in my power to help you do that through things like these weekly walkthrough videos, but also just having the course pre-organized and everything already laid out for you. Our weeks begin on Monday and they end on Sunday night. So your assignments that are in the far right-hand column are always due Sunday night at 11:59:59. I like to joke about that. You can turn them in early. You can also turn them in late, but try to keep on the schedule, and that will simplify your life in the long run. If you turn stuff in on time, you also get stuff back on time. And one of the things that I have invited you to do in this particular class, and you'll notice that as we scroll down, notice that in week 2, you're going to turn in something called the experience and interest inventory. And then after I grade it and give it back to you, you will have a chance to turn in a revised version. Now, it will not automatically mean you get 100 points out of 100 points or whatever, but it will raise your score potentially. They are optional. So if you do well on it, you may not want to do a revision. That's certainly fine. But many of our assigned items do have that potential revision. So it's just something that I've always done in this class to kind of keep you polishing your work. It is professional and technical writing, and in those worlds, we're never done polishing and correcting our work. And so it's one reason I like to do that in this particular class, especially because it goes along with what we're learning. Okay. Now, on a normal basis, you will use the modules. Everything in Canvas is set up in modules. There will also be items over here in the to-do list. I don't know why nothing is showing right now, which is really weird. I'm going to turn this off for a second. Okay, well, I'm going to check on those dates because obviously there should be things due at the end of this particular week. So that's a weird one. We're going to go into the modules, which is where you would normally go. And here they are. I don't know what's happening. Anyway, let's go over how the course is set up, and you will be navigating through and doing them. I honestly don't even like the fact that there's a to-do list on the homepage, because too often people do just skip to that and try to do the assignments without doing any of the pre-work. It is imperative that you learn the material before you earn those points. So, I mean, this week, of course, you could probably post a getting to know you discussion board without doing any of the pre-work, but the startup scavenger hunt, on the other hand, you are going to need to know what to do there. So you will notice that on the modules page, each week has a page, that's what we call it in Canvas, that has the overview and the learning materials. All of your readings, like assigned readings and things like that, are free. There is no textbook that you need to buy or anything like that. We are using a PDF textbook, and so you will have a textbook, but it is an open resource and it is free for you to use. So let's take a look at week 1. They're all set up like this. So you will have a overview and goals for the week, and then you will have the learning materials. So, and I even use my little catchphrase there, you got to learn the information before you earn the points. This week is mostly just about wandering through the class and getting to know what's happening. Okay, so not a lot of content to read, but you will be prompted to make sure you look at the homepage, make sure you look at the modules, et cetera, et cetera. You will also be linked to the Q&A discussion board, so I will make a plug for that here. One of the things that is always true is that if you have a question about a particular assignment, chances are somebody else does as well. So for public facing questions like, how do I do this assignment? Or what do I need to do for this? Or things of that nature, use the Q&A discussion board. You can also subscribe to it, and it will notify you when someone posts, not only me, but also your classmates. If you have a question, however, about something private, like your grade, you're going to come over here to the far left and you're going to use the inbox. That is a private communication between you and me, and nobody else can see it. The Q&A discussion board is a discussion board, so anybody can, of course, take a look at that. You do have a little bit of reading from our textbook, introduction pages 9 to 10, and the writing process pages 19 to 20. This will link you to the PDF version of the textbook. So again, you do not have to buy anything. It's all provided for you here. Now, Then we have a link to the assignments, but I prefer to go back to the modules, and you will see, as we saw just a second ago, under assignments due this week, you will see the two things that are due by the first Sunday night. The Getting to Know You discussion board, on which I have asked that you potentially share a video instead of typing things out, or you can write things out and type them out, but do include a picture. It's very important, of course, that we get to put names with faces in these online classes. It makes it more real. So ask you to do that. And then the startup scavenger hunt is essentially like a syllabus quiz. Okay. So you will want to take your time with that. None of the quizzes, and they're not really quizzes in the traditional sense of the word, but none of our quizzes or tests in this particular class are timed. So you can take your time with it. Just don't hit submit until you're really done with it. You can, leave it open and go walk the dog. You can do whatever you want to and come back to it. But both of those assignments should be submitted on time, because in an online class, submitting those first two assignments is how you are marked as having attended the course. So just signing in to the Canvas is not enough. You do need to participate. So make sure that you do those. Now, I will note to you that the Getting to Know You discussion board, excuse me, in all of our discussion boards, you will notice I don't do two different due dates. So your post is due by August 24th. And then by August 31st, you should go back to that and respond to at least two of your classmates. So I give you a full extra week to do those. I grade them separately. They are a completely separate category in the grade book, and it's pretty much a did you do it and did you do it on time sort of thing. So you will find in the grade book one lump sum for responding to others on the discussion boards. And if you don't respond to discussion boards, then you lose those points. So it is an easy thing to do, but sometimes it's also easy to forget those. So just kind of keep that in mind. So you will notice everything is already published. Everything is available to you other than the quote unquote final exam. But the final exam will open before the very end of the class. So you'll have at least a week, 2 weeks to work on that. And it is not a final exam in the traditional sense of the word, but you can go ahead and preview all of the assignments. Everything is there. So do take some time to look at that this week, and of course, post any questions about the course itself on the Q&A discussion board. While we are talking about the Q&A discussion board, I will also mention that it is really important that while you are taking this course, that you are also signing into this course pretty much every day and checking your Lake Sumter State College actual official student email. The school has only really that one way to get in touch with you. And so I will post announcements and things like that, but even those go to your email. So if you are checking your email daily, you will always be on top of things. So I know sometimes it's hard to check yet another email, but it really is important. Think of it as work email, right? Because right now taking classes is a job. You may have more than one, but it is a job. So please do communicate early and often. It is very important. All right. So, welcome again to everybody. I'm looking forward to getting to know all of you and to learn about your interests in our assignments. Take care, everybody. I will see you next Monday if I do not talk to you before that.